Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Friedman, joined in the studio by my next guest, Jared Gould of Supporting Strategies. Welcome, Jared.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know we were talking before we came on the air a little bit about your business. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about Supporting Strategies and your role within the company?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks again for having me here. And so Supporting Strategies has an interesting business model that's sort of changing the way that small business bookkeeping is being done, where the traditional model has always been, sort of hire a solo practitioner to come in on site for a certain amount of hours per week. And typically this industry has been very manual, paper-based, and sort of a little bit outdated. So what we are doing in the industry for small and growing businesses is really giving them a level of talent that they have not had exposure to before by hiring, MBA and CPA level professionals that work remotely from home. And the other side of our business, more than the talent that they're going to have direct access to do their books, is the technology side of things. So we love implementing technology and automation and streamlining the accounting process wherever we can. So really the idea is we're giving the growing business that didn't have access to this kind of talent before really an outsourced accounting department to do their books, to be a controller for them, all on a part-time as needed basis.
And does that ebb and flow as the cycles of the business flow, or is it generally someone will commit to X amount of time on a weekly basis, or is it all open-ended as much as it takes? How does the model sort of work from a client perspective so they can plan for it?
Yeah, great question. So we are truly a la carte, part-time as you need it, variable cost model. So, we do bill by the hour, but we can also set a fixed billing rate if we see that things are flat. After the first 90 days of working with someone, we can really make sure that, that price stays. But really we can pay bills and stuff for some clients. We can invoice customers for some of our clients. We'll always go through the month-end close process and put together, audit-ready, timely, accurate financials at the end of the month. But truly, all of our services can be, picked apart and. So
a la carte, and perhaps if they have a specific need, we were talking a little before we came on the air about some forecasting needs with the client. If it ramps up, you can provide that backup.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're playing in four spaces. We're accounts payables, we're paying bills and automating that process. We're accounts receivable, we're invoicing customers and recognizing revenue. Our third area is payroll and operational support. So more of that back office, support, benefits administration, payroll administration. That's sort of like the back office duty that we can help with. And then the fourth is that month-end close process, so we can reconcile your accounts and put together financials and maybe help you with some forecasting, some different cash what-if situations for a year out. I mean, some of that higher level functionality. But some of our clients grow, and some of our then shrink the next year, and we can sort of ride those ebbs and flows of the business with you.
And are there situations where clients would engage you for a full-time person, and because just the volume of needs as they grow, or is that typically a transition point or inflection point wherein they might look at a full-time resource, or how does that sort of model work? I know obviously It's not what you guys want, right? You're in the business of providing continuous service. But.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the perfect situation for Supporting Strategies. So where Supporting Strategies looks really, really interesting is when you take a look at what it would cost from a yearly perspective to hire a full-time person with salary and benefits, as opposed to what it would cost to hire Supporting Strategies, because most likely the duties that you're going to have this person perform, somehow we always figure out that these duties that folks any capacity work in are in 8-hour buckets. You go to work, from a certain time in the morning, and you go home at night at a certain time. And that's not always the case. You might need only 25 or 30 hours a week of support. So Supporting Strategies might be, half to 2/3 of the cost of a full-time hire when you include benefits. So if companies are looking for that full-time hire, I would challenge them and say, let's look at some of the actual functionality that you're looking for this person to perform.
Right.
And let's see how we can do that on a part-time basis, and and outsource that, and make it less expensive for the company and get even a higher level of talent.
If our listeners want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Please feel free to email me at any time. I'd love to answer any questions. It's Jared, Jared, Gould, Gould at supportingstrategies.com, or my cell phone. Feel free to reach me anytime, 617-733-7591.